everybody. It's Saturday morning. I haven't long ago got up, but my family have gone out. So I thought, what's needed here is another lucky dip improvised story. So we'll pop them in there, see what we can get out of it. First word is pot. Second word is personal. And the third word is cave. So we'll take the hat of mystery away by tossing it and give us the words pot, personal and cave. Let's zoom it in just so we can see those properly to an extent. Okay, so once upon a time there was a guy called Stephen, and one of Stephen's hobbies, he's a busy guy, he's an electrician. He'd go out fixing the wires, installing things in people's houses. Used to do building sites and things, but now he just got to drive around basically with a spanner and a wire stripper, sort out people's bathrooms, kitchens. But his main hobby was actually rowing. Now you might be thinking, rowing, isn't that quite an upper class sort of privilege sort of thing for an electrician? And so Stephen thought too when he started, but he's really into it. He really got into rowing. He'd go a few times a week and then he'd have a competition every few months. He'd do anything, doubles, eights, they're the only two I can remember. And at these competitions, a little known thing about rowing is that if you win, you don't call it a trophy, the thing that you get from some old guy, but a pot. And this weekend was a very special weekend for him because it was 10 years since he got married to his wife. And as such, this competition, the moment he heard about it, they're all going to go up to Scotland. They're all going to go up to Scotland and row across a loch. And whoever won of the 8 will be awarded the Scottish pot, which funnily enough means something else in Glasgow. Now, winning this pot on this particular weekend, his wife was going to go up too, and they were both aware that it was their anniversary weekend. She was, to be honest, a little bit annoyed that she was being dragged up to some loch in Scotland to watch a guy row across a body of water that could possibly drown him, but we won't worry about that. But either way, to him, this was a very personal desire to win this pot for his wife and make it all worthwhile. The travelling, I mean, not the marriage. That was already worthwhile. Stephen loved his wife. Now, what was different about this race was, you know, in athletics you can have you run round a track, you've got stadium-based things, but then you've got a few where you go out of the stadium. You go out and do a marathon, or some schools and clubs and things do cross-country. This was actually more of a cross-country row. Now that doesn't sound like it'd make much sense, does it? But instead of just cycling, rowing along a river, or just from one side of the lake to the other, it was a series of bodies of water. So you'd go out of a lake, up a river, along through some locks, as in, you know, the water level locks and things like that, up a canal under this river through into that lock. So it was quite a long race. It was a couple of hours, and it would go through various different sections of, I believe the technical term is catchment for the water. So they rode through the first loch, they got out to the river, and straight away Stephen thought, this is different, this is really unusual to be rowing up a river, not least because it was against the current. And then as they went through, the trees got lower and lower, weeping willows, all the other ones, and it became slightly foreboding. So, as driven as Stephen was, he couldn't help but think, this could go badly. We could get lost, or stuck, or sink. But still, we'll keep on, because I want to win this for my special weekend. But then, as they were battling through this undergrowth, because of course when you're rowing, it's quite difficult to sort of usher stuff out of the way. It's just sort of striking you and buffeting you and things. And he realised that on his very near right, just as he went past, there was a cave. Not a big cave, but a significant cave. And he thought, hang on, what's that? I mean, there might be otters or beavers or something, but they don't build caves. Otters just sort of live in amongst the riverbank. They don't build a cave, and beavers, they build dams, for God's sake. It's not really a cave. This isn't Narnia. So he went by, and he didn't say. As they went by, he went, "Oh, what?" And they all went, "Shut up, Stephen. We're trying to win a race. You said yourself how much this matters." And they got to the end, and it was all fine. And they did actually win. They beat the other team because they got even more stuck than the first team did. And Stephen said to his wife, there was something weird about that. There was something really weird. Why? What kind of an animal, what kind of a creature could build a cave like that in the side of the riverbed? She goes, "Oh, don't worry. It's probably just an otter, or, you know, a water rat." "A rat," Stephen said. "Bloody hell! Imagine the size of a rat that can build that." "No, don't worry about it, Stephen. You've won the race. Now we can have a lovely hotel stay. We can explore a bit, and we can have a lovely meal, and it'll be a really nice, you know. Don't worry about the rats. Don't let that ruin your victory." And Stephen went, "Yeah, okay, I suppose so. It is definitely a very nice hotel. But no, Stephen, don't worry. So they went to bed that night. They'd had a lovely meal, we'd had a big old steak, lots of beer, like all the rowers have. And he's lying in bed, and his wife said to him, "You're not still thinking about that rat, are you? I told you it'd be all right." And he goes, No. A little bit, yeah. You know I don't like rats, so." And she said, "Look, I wasn't going to tell you anything, but on the literature, I know you don't read things like this, on all the pamphlets and things for this competition, it did say just, near the end, I know you don't never bother getting to the end of this stuff. It said, wildlife you might see, mega water rats. And he went, what? So all this time, with me worrying, you've known that I was right to be worried? That there was a absolutely massive rat, and they were all along. They could have been watching. They could have been watching all the way along this race. She goes, yeah, no, Stephen, I know, I didn't want to worry you, but that's just one of the things that they have up here. It's a very unusual area. It's a niche ecosystem where these huge rats can dwell. What are you laughing for? You think it's not? You think I'm a wimp for being scared of rats? Have you read 1984? Have you read 1984? He gets his face eaten by rats, for Christ's sake. She goes, no, I know, Stephen. There's something funny about them, especially the ones that are 4 times the size. 4 times the fucking size? Are you joking? Look, we're leaving. We can't sleep in this hotel surrounded by these mega rats. And she says, well, maybe what we really need to do is go and see one. Face your fears. When you see one, you might just think, it could be worse. It could be worse. And you'll have the knowledge that we're going home tomorrow and you can get away from it all. He goes, I think I could remember where I saw that cave. We'll drive there tomorrow. Yeah, you've persuaded me. It's not how I saw my anniversary weekend going, but you've persuaded me here. Now, when they got there, he found it okay, because he remembered there was they'd just passed this little bridge, and the bridge was marked on the map as Calamaclan Bridge, which I don't know if it's real or not, but it sounded good, didn't it? And it was just after, and they bent over on the other side of the bank, because that was a step too far for Stephen to go round to it. On the other side, they brought the torch out that they always keep in the car, pointed it in to this cave, and they couldn't really see anything. So Stephen's wife said to him, do you want to go home now then? He went, probably best, love, probably best. You weren't making all this up, were you? Not at all, Stephen, dear. Besides, why would I want to ruin such an interesting weekend that I always wanted to come on? And that's the end of our story. And that's why, when you're trying to win a pot, don't make it personal. Don't make it personal. And definitely don't see a suspicious cave that your wife could exploit to get her own back. That isn't anti-women. I'd like a wife. Cheers, folks. Do like, do comment, do subscribe.